Good morning, afternoon or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamas back with my Premier League predictions for game week 10 this week. After having a good week last week, I'm going to try and better it this week. So let's get straight into it. Before we get into this week's video, please do like, share and subscribe. We start with tonight's fixture, which is Crystal Palace at home to Spurs. Now, this is Spurs' second game in the last 4 days. However, it's also their second London derby in the last 4 days, so they haven't wasted too much time travelling, so they shouldn't be too worried about that. And obviously, after this, they've got a 10-day break. But saying that, Crystal Palace will come and try and win this game. Obviously, Palace are a bit stop-start this season, and that shows in their record. In their 9 games, they have 3 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. And after losing 4-0 against Newcastle last weekend, they're really going to try and bounce back this weekend. But with their record against Spurs in head-to-heads looking not very good at all, in the last 16 games, Spurs have won 13, they've drawn twice, and Crystal Palace have only won once. I can only see this being another victory for Spurs this weekend. I can see them winning this one 2-0 to start game week 10. We then turn our attention to Saturday 12:30, which sees our second London derby of the weekend, which is the West London derby between Chelsea and Brentford. Now, Chelsea have picked up some form lately, being unbeaten in their last 4 games in all competitions. However, how crazy this sounds, it is a true statistic. They have only won once of their last 13 games at Stamford Bridge, with 1 win, 5 losses and 6 draws in that time. And with Brentford winning both their head-to-heads at Stamford Bridge in the last 2 seasons, it's going to be a tricky game. But I can't see this one being third time lucky for Brentford. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Chelsea against their West London rivals. We start the 3 p.m. kickoffs with Arsenal at home to Sheffield United. Now, I'm sorry, Sheffield United fans, but I don't think you have a chance in this one at all unless you can perform a massive shock. There are 3 teams in English football that are still unbeaten. They are Spurs, Arsenal and Portsmouth. And I believe at 5 o'clock on Saturday, those 3 teams will still be unbeaten. Arsenal's record at the Emirates against newly promoted teams is crazy. In their last 36 games, they have won 35 and drawn 5, losing none. And with Saka scoring or assisting in his last 7 out of his last 8 games and 6 games consecutively, I can see him making that 7 games consecutively, with Arsenal winning here comfortably 3-0. Turn to the relegation battle with 19th place Bournemouth versus 18th place Burnley. Now, with Bournemouth being only one of 2 teams still in the Premier League without a win this season, time is really running out for Andoni Iraola, as he will be sacked, I reckon, if they don't get their first win of the season this weekend. And with Burnley winning their last 4 visits to the Vitality, the pressure really is on Bournemouth. But I can't see anything other than a Bournemouth win here. I think this will be the game where they turn it round and they get their first win of the season. Not saying it'll be easy. I reckon it'll be a very hard game. But I reckon it will be 2-1 to Bournemouth. And the last game on Saturday sees the 5:30 kickoff between Wolves and Newcastle at Molineux. Now, this will be a good game as both teams come into this with wins in their last round of fixtures. But with Newcastle losing midweek to Dortmund in the Champions League, I can see this game either going one of 2 ways. Either it's going to be a very tight game, or Newcastle will seek revenge for that loss and they will blitz Wolves. But without Isak, he's going to be a very big miss. And with Hwang being the only player to score this season at Molineux for Wolves, and also on top of that, with 6 of the last 9 head-to-heads finishing in a 1-1 draw, I'm going to go for this one to be a tight game, and I'm going to go for it to be a 2-1 Newcastle victory. Moving on to Sunday at 1 p.m, we have West Ham at home to Everton. Now, with West Ham not winning in any of their last 3 games in all competitions, that's 2 losses and 1 draw. And with Everton in their last 5 games having 3 wins and 2 losses, this will be a very open game which could go either way. But with West Ham beating Everton in their last 2 trips to London Road, and with Jarrod Bowen being on 49 Premier League goals, I believe that West Ham will win this one. He will get his 50th Premier League goal, I believe, and I reckon it will be a 2-1 to West Ham. The second game on Sunday is Villa Park. It is Aston Villa at home to Luton. Now, Aston Villa are on fire at the moment, scoring 4 or more goals in 3 of their last 5 games and doing it back-to-back in their last 2 fixtures in all competitions. Now, with that being said, Luton did show some heart and some courage last weekend to come from 2-0 down in the last 10 minutes to get a 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest away. But I can't see anything other than an Aston Villa win here. And when Aston Villa score first this season, they've gone on to win every game. I believe they will score first. I believe they will continue the 4-goal theme. I can see them winning this one 4-0. Next up, we have Brighton at home to Fulham. Now, Brighton were on a run of 5 games without a win until yesterday. They beat Ajax in the Europa League, and with them only losing 1 game at home in the Premier League. A lot of people would predict Brighton to win here, but I don't think it's as easy as that, as in their last 9 games, both teams have scored at the MX, and with Fulham being unbeaten against Brighton in the 6 games they played each other in the Premier League, 3 wins and 3 draws in that time. I'm going to go against the grain in this one, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 Fulham away victory. And the last of the 2 p.m. kickoffs on Sunday sees Liverpool at home to Nottingham Forest. Now, with Liverpool only losing 1 game out of their last 20 competitive matches at home, that coming against Real Madrid last season in the Champions League, it's going to be very hard for Nottingham Forest to take anything out of this game. But in terms of the Premier League, Liverpool's last 16 games at Anfield, they've won 13 and drawn 3. And with Liverpool winning all of their games this season at home by 2 or more goals, I believe that will continue with a 3-0 emphatic victory this time round. And lastly, game of the weekend is the 191st Manchester Derby. Now, what a very, very good game this is to round off this week's games of fixtures. But it is a lot more unpredictable than people are saying. Now, a lot of people I have spoken to are saying Man City are definitely going to win this game. Now, I don't think it's as predictable as that, but I will tell you if I agree with them or not in a minute. Manchester United have not been playing very well lately. That is common knowledge, obviously, but they have been getting results. Now, they will need to perform if they're going to get anything out of this game. But saying that, Man City against English opposition in their last 3 away games have lost all 3 in all competitions, obviously, twice in the league and once in the Carabao Cup. I believe this will be a very tight game, but I will go with the majority of people this time, and I will say that Man City will win this one 2-1. But I won't be surprised if this does end in a draw. Now, a crazy statistic for you here. Manchester United's last 21 games, none of them have finished in a draw. It's either finished with a Manchester United win or a Manchester United loss. So if they do, it'll be the first time in 22 games they get a draw. My extra game this weekend, there is a load of fixtures I could have picked. I could have picked Inter Milan versus Roma. I could have picked Napoli versus AC Milan. But there is only one game you can pick when this game kicks off. It is one of the most historical football matches and one of the most iconic football matches in footballing history. It is one of my favourite fixtures of the whole season, every season. It is Saturday at 3:15. It is the El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Now, it is crazy what the La Liga head-to-heads are between these two teams. In 186 meetings, it is 35 draws, 74 wins for Barcelona and 77 wins for Real Madrid. Now, that is crazy to just see how close these two teams are. But saying that, come full time, I believe Barcelona will get their 75th win against Real Madrid in a 2-1 victory. Now for my bet of the weekend. It is a little bit confusing this week, apologies for that, but it is here so you can see it as I talk through it. It is Chelsea to win and Cole Palmer to score or assist, West Ham to win and Jarrod Bowen to score or assist, and then Arsenal to win with Bukayo Saka to score, Liverpool to win, Mo Salah to score, and Aston Villa to win and Ollie Watkins to score. Now with Bet365, that brings back 81.52 to 1. So if you put £2 on that, it will bring back £165.05. Now please, please, please bet responsibly. Thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you lot over the last few weeks. I am on Instagram and TikTok, so please do like, share and follow. But most importantly, please do subscribe by pressing the button below. And lastly, just remember, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Bye guys, thank you very much. Have a good weekend.